Instagram.
Shalom, I'm Arthur Bailey, apostle and overseer of Arthur Bailey Ministries and host of Israel International, inviting you to join us for Searching the Scriptures on this station every Sunday at 9 a.m. I look forward to searching the Scriptures with you and your family. That's 9 a.m. on Sunday. Check it out, and your life will never be the same in Yeshua's name.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths in the Bahamas and in Bahamian women. At present, we are unable to prevent breast cancer, but performing screening mammograms can detect breast cancer at its earliest when there are no symptoms and when it is more likely to be treated successfully. All women should have a primary health care provider who is aware of their medical history, family history, and risk factors. Women 40 to 45 years can choose whether to start screening in consultation with their physician. All women 45 to 54 years should have an annual mammogram. Women older than 55 years can have a yearly mammogram or choose to have one every 2 years. Monthly breast self-exams in conjunction with the mammogram can increase the odds of early detection. Be proactive about your health.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next. They are on your screen.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11. The Prime Minister giving a heartfelt message to the more than 100 National Youth Guard graduates today, impressing upon them that their future and success is something he carries in his heart. Also, a former Prime Minister standing by his administration's decision concerning Baha Mar's June 2015 bankruptcy crisis, notwithstanding a U.S. court finding that the main contractor was at fault. And the renovations to the tune of $3 million for the water tower project at Fort Fincastle is nearly complete. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royson Jones, and this is the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Welcome to the broadcast. Today, 104 cadets becoming the largest cohort of graduates since the National Youth Program began, a program that is near and dear to Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis's heart. Our Corwell Pyfrom leads us off at 11 with words of wisdom offered by the Prime Minister.
The National Youth Guard program is considered the brainchild of Prime Minister Philip Davis. He's actively engaged and is known for keeping close tabs on the program's progress. And so at today's graduation ceremony, his message was intentionally personal, with a message specifically for the graduating class.
I love you all. Yes, I said it. I love you because you are mine. Our nation's children, and I carry the weight of your future in my heart. And as long as I am Prime Minister, I will remove every obstacle out of your way to progress.
The graduates were met with cheers and applauses from supporters, family members, and friends.
I'm advised that the members of the Cohort 4 completed comprehensive disaster preparedness and response training program that was designed to equip them with specialized technical skills aimed to make them employable and provide service to the country.
Some 40 graduates from this cohort have already passed the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and the Royal Bahamas Police Force examinations and are presently undergoing recruitment.
At 104, Cohort 4 is the largest group to complete the program. Prime Minister Davis urging these youngsters to remember that they are more than just graduates, but they are also protectors and responders. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corwell Pyfrom.
Thanks, Corvell. Grand Bahama is still pleased that the U.S.-based Concord Wilshire officially closed on the $120 million purchase of the iconic Grand Lucayne Resort during a signing ceremony yesterday. The company, in partnership with globally recognized brands, has announced plans to transform the resort into a nearly $1 billion mixed-use destination. Ramiko Knowles tells us how these developers are eager to begin work.
The Grand Lucayne Resort is now under new ownership following a $120 million deal with Concord Wilshire. But for board member Richard Bosworth, the investment goes beyond buildings. In fact, he says it's about the people of Grand Bahama.
The word energy I will continue to use that I feel coming from, the team members and the local residents is so exciting and so welcoming.
On the grounds of the Grand Lucayne, many stood watching as portion of the property was dismantled, a symbolic start to what Bosworth calls a new beginning. But the real demolition, he says, will begin in just a few months.
And that would start on the reef side, the Reef Hotel side, and then work its way down beach, eventually getting to the Breakers Cay, and continue through at least the first half of 2026 with probably some construction beginning probably in the second half or towards the very end of 2026.
Officials also unveiled renderings of what's to come. The new Lucayne Resort Village, a 35-acre destination resort that promises a blend of luxury and entertainment. Now, while the former Grand Lucayne boasted more than 1,000 rooms, the new design will feature just over 300, and there's a reason for the scaled-back approach.
What we want to do is we want to build enough amenities that we can ensure also that we're going to have very high occupancies at the property. So we want to have enough level of entertainment available, whether it be for music or whether it be for recreation or whether it be for the water parks. There's only so much property that you have, and to take that much property and dedicate it strictly to hotels, I don't think that's a right read of the market, right? The market today is driven by the cruise line industry. We all know that. So you've got to have enough of a facility to draft off of that and bring those cruise line customers to your property. And then you have to have the approximate size hotel that can be serviced by airlift.
During the transition, current employees will see some disruption to their workflow. However, Bosworth assures that a compensation plan will be released in the coming days to help cushion the impact.
It'll include benefit management and assistance for them for their benefits. I think what is going to be equally as important is allowing them to have open recall, meaning that they can step back into positions when the property opens. So they will, as they're staying with us, we're going to stay with them.
Now, if all goes according to plan, officials say the new resort will open its doors in 2028. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Ramiko Knowles.
Thanks, Ramiko. Former Prime Minister of the Right Honorable Perry Christie says he has no regrets about siding with China Construction America, which was held responsible for committing fraud and breach of contract against Sarkis Ismailian. CCA was required by a New York Supreme Court to pay $1.7 billion in damages. When asked why his administration appeared to side with CCA, the former Prime Minister said all actions taken were in the best interest of the Bahamian people.
The aim of the government of the Bahamas was to ensure that the development started by Sarkis Ismailian did not die, did not go into bankruptcy that would cause Bahamians not to have the opportunity that they now have. And so our only intention was to ensure that the matter was heard in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, so we fought the jurisdiction issue, and the matter was heard in the courts in the Bahamas.
The former Prime Minister maintains his administration simply wanted Bahamians to receive what they were entitled to.
Everyone in the Bahamas who were in those courts would have an opportunity for fair hearing. The decisions were made. The Export-Import Bank assisted the Bahamas, that is the China Export-Import Bank, assisted the Bahamas in being able to bring for Bahamians everything that they were entitled to, notwithstanding bankruptcy. So I have no regrets about that, and it was not a question of siding with anybody, it was a question of ensuring that justice was done.
There's been increasing support for the government to proceed with the legal changes needed to bring gender equality to citizenship in the Bahamas. The Davis administration has even gotten the backing of political giants like former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Ingram, who once expressed confidence Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, will deliver on gender equality issues. But there's been a delay in getting there. Ingram sums it up as being no public pressure to cause the government to move in one direction or another.
The women of the Bahamas have not stepped up to the plate, as educated as you all are, and said, you know, we demand equal rights. No, they haven't done so. And clearly the men who are in politics are now got to go their way to have you all who are better educated than we are, more prepared than we are, but of course we have this dominant role in public life. So why do you expect these men unless you push them to change?
In overnight crime news, over $75,000 worth of drugs in the hands of authorities, as well as a 39-year-old suspect. The large seizure taking place on the same day. 5 men were taken into custody for a major drug bust on Acklands. Based on what we've been told, drug enforcement officers headed to the Bahamas Customs Department around noon Thursday. It was there that they found confiscated a large quantity of suspected infused gummies valued at over $7,000, pills worth more than $59,000, and infused vapes worth another $8,500. A construction site on Windsor Field Road was where an armed robbery occurred around 3 o'clock this morning. Police say 4 men, one of whom was armed, confronted an employee at the site. The culprit stole items from the premises before fleeing the scene in a white van. An investigation into the matter continues. And over in Eleuthera, investigations there continue into a traffic fatality last night. Preliminary reports state officers went to the Glass Window Bridge area in Gregory Town shortly after 7 p.m., where they observed a damaged vehicle and the unresponsive and injured body of a man. A doctor pronounced the man dead at the scene. Still to come, construction delays on West Bay Street. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Summer in the Bahamas. The weather is hot, but not as hot as the ZNS summer packages. Get ads on ZNS TV or ZNS Radio Network or the TV community page, or a combination of all 3. ZNS has got you covered with great prices, whatever package you choose. Book before June 7th and get the local Federation Championship Baseball bonus full of all kinds of extras free of charge. Contact your account executive or call ZNS Sales at 502-3800 today. Hot summer package rates valid until July 31st.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, where safety is first.
Reconstruction efforts on a portion of Go-Slow Bend along West Bay Street have hit a bump in the road due to unforeseen challenges. Here's what Works Minister, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, shared with our news team.
There were some challenges with once the construction started. There were some changes that had to be made with the scope. So they're finalizing that now, and we hope you'll see that work started shortly.
And speaking of works, that $3 million water tower renovation project at Fort Fincastle is said to be about 90% complete, with a tentative completion date of July. Antiquities, Monuments and Museums Director Don Cornish revealed once that's done, daily tours of the revamped tourist attraction will resume.
You know, people wanted to get in here to see. Obviously, it's the highest vantage point in New Providence, and outside of that, it's also served as a lighthouse to some degree. So the lights are being reinstalled. It'll be a flashing light like a lighthouse would provide at night, but during the day hours, obviously, you can have a panoramic view of the island, and obviously, that's a major attraction. There'll be an elevator for those who may have physical challenges or not as fit as they used to be, and then, of course, there'll be stairs. There'll be a gift shop as well. We'll have tours as normal, which will be provided for those persons who are visitors.
But when it comes to the 42 vendors currently selling Bahamian handmade souvenirs, Cordish says their stalls will be demolished and repositioned to another area on site, a decision majority of the vendors who have been at the fort for years are not too pleased with.
It's been quite a journey. You can imagine that, this has been a home in many respects because of the fact that they're settled here. And, it's right in proximity to the cruise ships. So in addition to the tour business, they would have gotten walk-up traffic. Fort Charlotte is not a walk-up space. And so that's been an adjustment. Not everybody is happy about it, but we've been trying our best to ensure that we provide them the support.
You may be familiar with the song with the following hook, "All I do is win, 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 no matter what." Well, that seems as good an anthem as any for a group of Cleveland Enos primary students who've been on a winning streak on the tracks. Desmond Saunders has that story.
They're some of the fastest young track and field athletes in the country, earning this year's coveted title of New Providence Public Primary School Champions.
I ran the 800, the 400, and I ran the 2 relays. I was just thinking about what my coach would say: drive your arms, keep pushing, and lift your knees while you're running.
It feels good. I mean, Coach Thompson's been pushing us so hard. I feel like I should be doing good on the track.
Friday was their big day. Officials of the Ministry of Sports, Cleveland Enos Primary School, and Pinewood Member of Parliament, the Honorable Miles LaRota, pulled out all the stops to ensure these 24 young athletes got the recognition they deserved. Cleveland Enos Principal Avenel Newbold-Smith.
The fastest sprint, the 100 meters, our students, if I remember correctly, we actually cleaned up in every division in the 100-meter dash. In every area, in every division for the 100 meters, but we also have a very, very strong 4x1 and 4x4 team. We also have the middle distance runners, the 800 and the 1200 meters, and we also have some great field event athletes who have excelled in long jump and high jump.
This marks the school's 9th consecutive win at the meet, a stellar achievement the school's principal credits the hard work and dedication of teachers and staff. For Coach Mariska Thompson, the intense training that began 9 months ago certainly paid off.
This practice actually started off-season from November. Okay, so I really drill the children and teach them the fundamentals of track and field.
Mr. LaRota applauding the hard work of the student athletes.
You are developing a dynasty here at Cleveland Enos. And just in case those out there in media land is listening, this school also had 102 students on the honor roll. So we're not just good in sports. We're excelling in academics.
No break for these track champions. They'll be back on the field preparing for next year's primary school track championships. Desmond Saunders, the Bahamas Tonight.
Thanks, Desmond. An official memorial for former parliamentarian, the late Right Honorable John Henry Bostwick, held this morning at Christ Church Cathedral on George Street. A former leader of the opposition and former president of the Senate, over his years in public life, operated beyond party lines and served a myriad of persons and causes, and is described by some as an astute barrister and true son of the soil. Our Lloyd Allen has more from that memorial service.
The late Right Honorable John Henry Bostwick's farewell was supported by family, a who's who from the legal and political fraternities, and the many others whom the late politician impacted and inspired during his life. The official memorial service featured several tributes, including one from his son, John Bostwick, who spoke proudly of his beloved father, whom he says taught him numerous lessons during his formative years and up to his passing.
He always made sure we knew where we came from. He was a proud, polished, yet humble, warm-hearted man. He was the type to return to the space where his work life started as a child and to buy it and make it his own. He did not just come from over the hill and cross the hill. He conquered and still holds the hill, with this present generation having naval streams buried here on George Street.
Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, and Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard also remembered the veteran politician's commitment to country.
He was in every sense a gentleman, a statesman, a Bahamian of the highest order. And yet, for all his titles, for all his accomplishments, it was the way he carried himself that stays with us most. He didn't have to dominate a room to be heard. He didn't need to win every argument to prove his worth. When he spoke, you listened. Not because he demanded it, but because you knew he thought about what he was saying. He led with his mind, yes, but also with his heart.
A serious, purpose-driven man. His imprints are forever etched in the fabric of our nation.
Anglican Diocese Bishop the Right Reverend Leishboyd, during his sermon, reflected on the journey of St. Paul, zeroing in on 3 lessons, including the celebration of life, the recognition of mortality, and the pursuance of eternal peace.
This reminds us of who God is, calls us into fuller relationship with God, challenges us to see the place of God in our lives, and asks us the question, can we do more for God in our living?
And as interment will take place here at the Garden of Remembrance at Christ Church Cathedral, friends and family of the late Right Honorable John Henry Bostwick say his life and legacy will live on for eternity. Reporting from George Street for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Thanks for that reporting, Lloyd. Amajal Knowles has a look at what's coming up in sports tonight. Amajal?
ZNS Total Sports team catching up with collegiate Rima Collins. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
The National Voice turns 89, and we're inviting you to celebrate with us. Sunday, May 25th, we're taking you to church for our 11 a.m. service live from Grace Community Church in Palmetto Avenue. Then, join us for the Awesome God concert live from Southland Cathedral on Soldier Road beginning promptly at 7 p.m. I'm talking Christopher Roberts, Simeon Outen, Shabak, Dwight and Brewster, Eman, Carity Newton and Southland Music, DJ Godson, and much more. This concert is totally free, so come and celebrate with us.
Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, we have been in Exuma now for the past 4 years, carrying out our paving program. A part of our company's philosophy is producing work to international standards. So when you look at our paving division, we have a state-of-the-art lab to do all of our testing in-house, as well as a state-of-the-art asphalt plant with a trained technician carrying out the work on that site. The overarching goal of our company is to produce the work that we're doing in the entire Bahamas to international standards. We also make a difference by the training of our staff. We have a very intensive training program going on to where we are teaching young men how to learn the art of striping. Being a young man myself, I've made mistakes in the past. I was given a second chance to better my life, and it's only fitting that we pass that along. What's important for us is giving them a second chance for them to get a skill and a career that could take them further in life.
Welcome to your TGIF Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports. A Bayman Collegiate hooper on the move and is hoping for big things in her junior season with a new program. Rima Collins was back home working out of the Kendall Geologics Gymnasium. Our intern, Swanson Gibson Jr., caught up with her.
While at the Kendall Isaacs Gym, ZNS Total Sports caught up with NCAA women's basketball player Rima Collins as she is home for summer training this offseason. After 2 years at Ole Miss, Collins taking her talents to South Beach, committing to Florida International University for her junior campaign. She discussed being recruited by head coach Jessica Burks-Wiley and their relationship.
Honestly, Coach Burks been recruiting me since high school, so we ain't no strangers to each other. So, you know, she plans on making me a leader of the team, you know, just working and, you know, planning for the next step. Yeah, she knows to make pros. You know, in the past, FIU's had a few pro players. They had one just win pro, honestly, to Europe. So, yeah, I think me going to FIU will be a good thing.
Longtime coach Anthony Swaby spoke about the importance of off-season conditioning.
They wanted her to come back to school in shape and some sort of physical condition more than anything else, because like she said, they expect her to be kind of a leader of the team, and she's going to lead. Once she walked back on campus, it's leading by example.
Collins also reflected on her time at Ole Miss, particularly being mentored by head coach Yolette McPhee-McQuinn.
You know, being under Coach Yo isn't an easy thing. You know, you got to be tough. You got to have that mentality, you know, just to come in and work every day. So that's just things she's taught me. And, you know, having good character and just coming in with good energy, no matter what your role is on the team. You know, always being a good teammate, cheering on, playing defense, scoring. If that's what you do, that's what you do. So, yeah, that's just what I've learned from her.
What's Collins' mindset going into the upcoming season?
I can dominate. That's the plan, you know. That's my reason for transferring. I just want to dominate and, you know, do what I got to do.
As one of the newest members of the program, Rima Collins is looking to have a breakout season for the FIU Panthers. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
Still on hoops, the WNBA, Jonquel Jones and the New York Liberty begin their title defense campaign this evening as the WNBA season tips off. Liberty will open up against the Las Vegas Aces. 7 months ago, the Liberty beat the Minnesota Lynx 67-62 in the deciding Game 5 of the 2024 WNBA Finals. It prompted celebration in the Big Apple for New York's first league title. And of course, Jones taking home Finals MVP honors. Now, the Liberty are favored to become the fourth team in WNBA history to win consecutive championships. But Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever are right behind them on the odds board and are very much the preference of the betting public. New York enters as the favorite, while Indiana is the second to take the title in October. According to odds makers, next up would be Las Vegas, followed by the Minnesota Lynx. From the NBA, Buddy Hield and the Golden State Warriors, their season is over after a 121-110 Game 5 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Warriors lost the Western Conference semifinals 4-1. Game 5 was going to be an uphill battle for the Warriors, who were once again without their best player, Stephen Curry. The Dubs lost 4 straight contests after Curry's injury in Game 1, Buddy posting just 8 points in the loss. He spoke to the media post-game.
I feel like everything was put together already. Adding Jimmy was very easy because he's a basketball player. He knows what it takes to win. Connect on both ends of the floor. Connects with us off the court. He knows the ins and outs of the NBA. I just feel that health was downfall of what we had planned for the season. That's you never know what could happen if Dirty was out there. I like our chances with him out there. So and sometimes injuries are part of the game, man. Just what he does for this team, and just there's a lot. And you look at all 5 games we had. 5 from Game 1, him on the floor, just changes a lot for us.
That's one look at your sports on this Friday. A check on weather when we return.
How do ideas become plans? Plans become memories.
So you like my new room?
And dreams become your life.
This is my child.
Do you remember when hope became a house? When that house became a home? Your ideas are everything, and we're here to help make them happen. Your idea of yes, I can happens here.
What other voices?
The ones I hear in my head.
Oh, that's enough now. Quiet.
Are these the voices of people that she knows, or are they characters from a book?
He loves you.
Appears to be some kind of stress-induced, religious, spiritual manifestation.
What brings you here?
I'm still waiting for orders. But in the meantime, the doctor needs a painter. Do you have any ideas?
Something to make him relax. He seems kind of nervous.
When you walk down the road, heavy burden.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Royston. The dry conditions are back and will be with us until about the end of the month. And so you'll have to just deal with those dry conditions until about that time. And your temperatures around the Family Violence this evening, pretty warm, 86 degrees in Marsh, Abaco, Green Key at 84. 84 also in Freeport, Grand Bahama, the Berry Islands, 81. Alisan, Bimini, 81 degrees as well. Harbor Island, 79 degrees. Roxanne, Eleuthera at 83, 86 in Otterstown, Cat Island. Black Point, Exuma, and Kemps Bay, South Andros at 87 degrees. Some 85 showing up in Georgetown, Exuma. And Rum Key and San Salvador, they have a temperature of 86 degrees. A little further south into the Atkins area, 88 degrees there. Ragged Island, 85. Oh, and Betsy Bay, Makewana, 88. Matchitani, Nagua, 82 degrees in the Turks and Caicos Island. That's round out our temperature profile at 83 degrees. Forecast tonight. Pretty nice weather. Mostly clear skies, low temperature around 75 degrees. And tomorrow, the temperature is going to be somewhat seasonal, about 87 degrees under partly to mostly sunny skies. And then as you look for the next 7 days, we're going to have bright sunshine during the daytime. That will take us right into our next weekend, but keeping those temperatures in the upper 80s. And then we'll start to crank out some 90s as we head into the middle of the week, next week, where we'll start to see some 90-degree temperatures, but your nighttime temperatures, for the most part, will remain in the mid-70s. Royston.
Thank you, Basil. Well, that's going to do it for the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Be sure to turn into the weekend edition with Desmond Saunders. Thank you as always, and good night.
At the Office of the Prime Minister, I'm Devontae Hanno. This is ZNS.